So here's a question
What's that?
for you and you. Have you done your estate planning yet? Do you even know what it is?
Yeah, but that means either you don't have an estate or you're just really careless with your estate.
Well, you need to figure out what you're going to do if you're going to pass anything along to those kids of yours.
Your loved ones.
Yes,
Or
those brats.
Baxter, my cat.
Well, we've got Kevin Kimbrough on the scene now to talk about estate planning for boomers.
We're here with Ann Poindexter with Altman, Poindexter and Wyatt here in their beautiful office in Carmel, Indiana. We're here to talk about some estate planning and planning for death. What should people be concerned with? What are the things that they should look out for or consider as they're approaching?
So first, I want everybody to understand that estate planning concerns lifetime issues as well as death issues, but I'll answer your question. And so if you're planning for death, I want everyone to know that, first of all, everyone needs a plan. You need your own plan, regardless of the size of your estate, regardless of the size of assets. And if you don't develop your own plan, the state of Indiana has a plan for you. In other words, the law says what will happen. And so I'm a firm believer in choice, and people ought to make their own choices. So it's not just about who gets your stuff, who gets the money. One of the most important considerations people need to keep in mind is who's going to be in charge of the process. So if you have a will, the person in charge of the process is who you nominate as personal representative. The personal representative's role is a role that is essentially a job. And so I want people to think about the job of not only gathering assets, paying debts, paying the taxes that may be due, dealing with, inquiries from different people, selling a house. Who is best suited to do that job?
I have a parent that may need a guardianship of some sort. How should someone approach that situation?
Very delicately. I mean, that's one of the hardest issues that I deal regularly with clients on is our aging parents and what to do when it comes to that point. First of all, there are things that we can do if we're ahead of the curve a bit to try and avoid a guardianship. A guardianship is the process of going to court and proving that that parent is incapacitated such that they can't handle their own affairs. And that's not a pleasant process for anybody, but for the person we're trying to put under guardianship, it can be a demeaning process. Doesn't mean you're unaware of what's going on, but it may mean that you're at a point where you shouldn't be handling the bank account. And so one of the things we can do ahead of time that's very, very important are powers of attorney. A power of attorney is a document that a parent can sign giving authority to a child or a sibling or somebody else to undertake business transactions for them. Powers of attorney can be healthcare powers of attorney too, in the event that there's a need to help make healthcare decisions.
It's very interesting, yes.
And in most instances, if there is a power of attorney in place in advance, there is no need for a guardianship because you will have the legal authority to undertake business transactions for that parent using your power of attorney. You'll have the legal authority to give instructions to the healthcare providers using that healthcare power of attorney.
Well, very good. You are just a wealth of information.
Well, thank you.
And I'm sure that our viewers will really appreciate this segment. We're with Ann Poindexter again with Altman, Poindexter and Wyatt. We thank you, and thanks for joining us here on Boomer TV. I'm Kevin Kimbrough.